Hello everyone, this is yours truly, JBlue68. Today is June the 23rd, Sunday, and I'm about to do something a little bit differently than what I normally do in terms of a collection haul or comic book haul. And this is really only going to feature one comic book. This haul deals particularly with the artist formerly known as Prince. And I've mentioned previously in several videos, that I'm a huge Prince fan. You've probably seen some of my videos where I do covers of Prince music on the keyboards. He's just one of my favorite artists, man. I mean, Prince was completely awesome guy. And in the background, you hear some of his music. This is actually the music from the Batman soundtrack, and we're going to get into that in a moment. Prince was very much into comic books. A lot of people don't know that. And unlike me, I'm a Marvel fan. Prince was a DC fan. And he did an awesome soundtrack, I think, to the Batman movie, which came out in 1989. Prince was born June 1958. He passed, unfortunately, about 4 or 5 years ago, 2015. And I think it was in the fall or spring that he passed. But again, we're not going to get into, the sad part of him no longer being here on Earth, but more so we're celebrating the life, the legacy and music of Prince all this month, being that this was the month of his birth. In front of you, you see a very rare item. And as I just mentioned, Prince was very much into comic books, so much so that there were comic books actually published based off of the artist himself. Now, this is an original print. This came out in the 90s during the time that Prince no longer used his name. He used a symbol. And I have the symbol in front of you on one of his CDs. This is a symbol that he used. The artist formerly known as Prince. And this is actually from the CD Planet Earth. And that was due to legal reasons, his lawsuit and leaving or exiting Warner Brothers, who currently owns the DC label. When Prince did the music, how Prince actually did or was recruited to do the music for Batman, a lot of people don't know the story, but Jack Nicholson was one of the stars, of course, in that movie, along with Michael Keaton, who played as Batman, Bruce Wayne. But Jack Nicholson actually asked Prince personally to do, being a Prince fan himself, asked Prince to do the music for the movie, and talked to a couple of the producers at Warner Brothers as well to get that done. And he originally wanted or asked Prince to use the music from Purple Rain. Prince, however, being an originator, a creator, an innovator of music, said no. He wanted to do an all-new style and brand of music for the movie and came up with the Batman soundtrack, which I feel was awesome. Some fans were divided with the soundtrack or with the music, but I just felt it was not only one of his most awesome albums, it also featured some of the most awesome remixes. Awesome. I think the best remixes of any album he'd ever done. And again, that was in 1989. Extended versions and remixes from that album. And you're actually hearing one of them right now. This is the extended remix of the song The Future. And it's from this CD right here. That's extended version of Bat Dance, not The Future. He does have an extended version of Bat Dance, but this is the extended version of Bat Dance. And there's also the Bat Dance remix and 200 Balloons on the CD. You can see that there. It features a Batman symbol. And he was mainly a DC comic book fan, and Prince actually said when he first started learning how to play instruments on the piano, one of the first songs he learned how to play was the original Batman theme from the Batman TV show, which starred Adam West. That's one of the first songs he learned how to play. But anyway, the comic book you see in front of you was produced by Piranha Music. And during the time that it was printed, its original cover price was only $2. Now I'll bring it up closer to the camera here so you can see it. I'll actually bring the camera closer to the book. Let's see. Should probably do it that way. And there's a symbol there. This is an original printing. Prince comic book. As was his image during the 90s. And he's holding one of his cloud guitars. His gold yellow cloud guitars. And now to buy this book, at least an original printing of this book, you're going to pay somewhere between 150 to 200 bucks for it. Or as they would say in the UK, between 150 and 200 pounds. Alright, so now we're going to show actually some of the albums. These are the singles, I should say, that came out during that time. Move some of these other things aside here. And these are original vinyl prints. Prince, Prints, not Prince. Alright, there we go. And this is the original vinyl print of this CD that I just showed you. Bat Dance. Now, when Prince passed, Warner Brothers, along with a couple of other music companies, actually reproduced a lot of Prince albums. And that's why I stress these aren't reprints. These are original copies here. Because I followed Prince for a very, very long time. I followed his career for a very, very long time. And I'm very glad that I did that, because now, again, most of his albums, which are, a lot of them are hard to find, but to get original copies, you're going to pay a pretty hefty sum to get them. But here we have Bat Dance, which again features the Batman symbol on it. All right, it's in gold and black. And then here's the back of the album with the title Batman. And the song that you hear in the background is one of the songs featured on this album. Okay. Here's The Future, which is the first song I mentioned. The patch with Prince looks like he has a patch over one of his eyes or something like that. And that's a very, very cool cover, though. That's the Prince The Future. Not an easy to find album. This is an original printing, which came out around that time frame, which, as I said, I mentioned 1989. This is sorry about that. Jeez. This is an awesome remix, and again, the Batman remixes were just completely off the charts, man. If you don't have them, have never heard them, I really suggest you try to get your hands on them, or at least, try to get a chance to listen to them, which you can on YouTube. They're easy to actually find in terms of listening to the music, but to actually find these copies, I don't know if you'll find these at all. And this one right here was very hard to find. And that was even back in the 90s. Next up we have Party Man, which features the Batman symbol in yellow. That was the back. Here's the front. Party Man. And this video is available on YouTube as well. It's a cool and very funny video. If you've never seen it, I suggest that you do. And after that, we have the Prince Sex Scandalous Suite. a song which actually features a very rare version on the score. Now, I should mention that there's a score to the movie and then there's a soundtrack. Prince did the soundtrack. The score for the movie was done by Danny Elfman. And Danny Elfman actually did a version of this song, which is called Scandalous. But here it's called the Scandalous Sex Suite. The song is about 20 minutes long. I have it on both vinyl and CD. Here's a CD. You can probably find the CD on Amazon. For every Prince album, I always like to have at least 1, 2, 3, or 4 copies, because even during the time when Prince was alive and coming out with all the music that he came out with, the guy marketed himself like a collector's item, and to date he still is. And on the back of this album, it features the Batman symbol in red, which I thought was pretty nice. He also came out with the Arms of Orion, but I couldn't find that. My Prince collection is immense. This is not even half of what I have. But the Arms of Orion, which featured the song on the B side called "I Love You and Me." Most of these songs could be heard in the movie, from the very beginning of the movie to the very end. All right, there's that. And then last up in the Prince Batman collection, this right here is a real treasure. It is a real gem. And I'm going to explain to you why. There were only 1,000 copies of this vinyl album made. This is the extended version of Bat Dance. The regular version is like 6 minutes and 25 seconds. This is the one's like 9 minutes long. And he has another mix on there about almost 10 minutes long. It's 9 minutes and 46 seconds long. There were 1,000 copies of this album made. Now, considering there are 7-point-something billion people in the world, or 2-point-something billion in the world, I can't remember the number, but I know it is in the billions. I'm one of 1,000 people who owns this particular album. It cannot be found on Amazon or eBay. If you can find it, good luck. And if you can pay for it, even more good luck, because I'm sure it's very, very expensive. But it was a limited edition release of 1,000 people, and I'm one of 1,000 people. Like I said, was very fortunate to get my hands on it. So very happy about that. I'll just show you really quick too some of the other stuff in my Prince collection, if I may. Over here was one of the last Prince official albums released by Prince himself from the Hit and Run collection. It's Hit and Run Volume 1 and Hit and Run Volume 2. These were released in 2014 and 2015. Plectrum Electrum, which he released with his the very last band that he assembled, which was Third Eye Girl. Now, this is on CD, but I also have it on vinyl. One of the other final albums that was released by Prince was this one right here, which I have on both CD and vinyl. This is Artificial Age. Very nice album. And so I have that on both vinyl and CD. Like I said, I like to have at least 2 or 3 copies of music released by the guy. Okay. And here's one of his post-release CDs, which was a piano and a microphone. Got that glare there. Sorry about that. Let me move this over here. Much better. This is mainly Prince on the piano, playing a lot of his, very popular tunes. Doesn't feature his band, it's just him on the piano. Playing 17 Days, Purple Rain, A Case of You. Mary Don't You Weep, which was heard in one of the Spike Lee movies that was released recently. Strange Relationship, International Lover. Wednesday, a cold coffee and cocaine, and Why the Butterflies. And there's a list of songs there. And recently, another album has just been released based off of songs that Prince actually recorded with or for other artists, which I've yet to get my hands on, but I have it on order from Amazon. Actually, I'm sorry, from the estate of Prince. Oh, here's one other album I wanted to show you guys. This is a picture disc of Prince, which came out in 1986 from the Under the Cherry Moon Parade album. This is actually available on Amazon for somewhere like $300 or $400. $300 or $400. Very, very rare find there. I'm very glad to get my hands on it. Alright, so that's it. I just wanted to show you guys some of the music from my some of the albums and CDs from my Prince collection that I've been mentioning so many times. And then of course the Prince comic book, which was released in the early 90s, I think 92 or 93. May he rest in power. Prince will forever be remembered for his music and so many great things that he did musically, and a lot of the cool videos that he did. I was very blessed to see Prince in concert. Very fortunate to see him in concert at least 5 times in a lifetime. The last time I seen Prince was during the Musicology tour, and here's the actual tour book. And some people will say, "Oh, you probably bought that on Amazon or something like that, you know, fake news." Well, it's not. Here's my ticket here in the insert of the book. This is the last time I've seen Prince alive. At the Palace of Auburn Hills, June 21st, 2004. So, and this is the tour book here. So yeah, that's it. That's all. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like it and give it a thumbs up. And may you live to see the dawn.